Hello heathens, and welcome to my channel. I am Beauty Heathen, and my channel is dedicated to the exploration of paganism through the medium of cosmetics. If you enjoy this subject matter or find my content of interest, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and set the bell to all to be notified of when I upload new videos. In today's episode, I will be beginning a series on an introduction to spells and ritual work. And if you are just tuning into my channel for the first time, hello and welcome, and I'm glad you're here. Today I am using the darkest of the three skin-toned heads that I have. These are all cosmetic practice heads. I have prepared the face as usual with a coat of hairspray per the instructions that come with it. And today's foundation is the LA Girl Pro Coverage HD Long Wear Illuminating Foundation in the color chocolate, although it's more likely a blend of chocolate and toast, as I use the same brush that I did to apply the toast foundation to the head in the video before this one. So that's already been done. I have put down the NYX Professional Makeup eyeshadow base in white, and I have set it with the Becca Hydrating Mist. Let's see, where's the container? There it is. Becca Hydra Mist Set and Refresh Powder. And also, if you are brand new to my channel, everything that I have in front of me has been purchased with my own money and obtained either through direct purchase myself or through BoxyCharm, which I have a subscription with, which is why I'm using some more expensive products for this channel. Forgive me, I've been sitting in this chair for a while. Had to adjust a little bit. Anyway, first let me preface this video with entering into spell work and ritual work should never be done on a whim. These practices demand the same level of respect and reverence as prayer. So when you enter into this, I highly recommend you don't enter into it on, let's see if it works. Right now I'm using the Matte Rose Blush. Trying to start with the, I did a little bit too much. Trying to start with the portions of the face that don't take as long in this video. The video I recorded before this one was for Magical Monday, and I ate up a lot of time just applying eyeshadow. So because of that, I'm trying to start with the easier areas first. Blend that out a bit. And like in all of my videos, if you are looking for to see how these cosmetics apply to the face, this is not the channel for that. I highly recommend a number of other review channels for that kind of information, but my channel, with regards to these heads, cosmetics do not apply to these heads like cosmetics apply to the face, mainly because the heads, one, are not skin texture, and two, with all the things that I have to do to the heads, before I put down cosmetics, it alters the ability for some cosmetics to apply to it. And that's just something I have found over time. I have been working on that. I've been working on some of my own products to try to make that a little bit easier, but like with all things, they take trial and error. I'm also not a trained makeup artist. I guess you could call me a makeup enthusiast, in that I enjoy makeup, I enjoy playing with makeup, but if you're looking for professional looks and advice and tips, things of that nature, again, my channel is not the place for that. There are a number of other channels on YouTube. My main purpose with this channel is to educate people on paganism and to do a basically a look that coincides with the subject in each video, just so that you're not staring at a table while I talk to you. So this channel is just about having some fun, exploring with products and seeing how they turn out. And forgive me, I was just adjusting the camera. And I also don't edit my videos, so whatever bloopers or whatnot I do while in the making of these videos, they pretty much stay, so you get me at full relatability, I guess you could say. But anyway, as I was saying, spell work is much like doing prayer, because that's exactly what they are. But unlike normal prayer, where you would put all of your faith in God per se, in rituals and spells, you are basically summoning your own energy while making the request for assistance from the universe, a deity or deities with strength and your own strength and power. Today's palette, I'm going to use I Heart Revolution One True Love. I have not used this palette before, so we will see if it is a hit or a miss with these heads. Let's see. I'm trying to find which of the shades are matte and shimmer, and trying to decide where to start. I think I'll start with this, not quite sure that's a actually that might be a shimmer shade. Okay, so then I'll start with this one up in the upper right hand corner. But when it comes to beginning ritual practice, I do advise you heed precaution and stick to something very simple, very light in tone or energy, at least initially. I know that frequently when people start getting into this path or start wanting to delve into it, usually what triggers that is, for lack of a better term, the I want it now. Which makes me think of Veruca Salt from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Don't care how, I want it now. Yeah, I'm advising you not to fall into that. Okay. So far, this color is not wanting to work. So let's try something else. Maybe this dark brown color. We're going to make it work somehow. If this palette doesn't work, we will switch to another one. It's that simple. Okay, yeah, this palette does not want to work with these heads. Alright. But in the theme of trying to keep things somewhat uniform, I will use the same color on the other side as well, so whatever effect I do end up with at least has some uniformity between the two eyes. As I've said in previous episodes, which I know not all of you may have seen, I will be using all of these products to the fullest extent, mainly because, one, that's real life. I don't, apart from people who do review channels, I don't know really anybody who goes out and buys makeup every single day and does a different product. And whatever I do have, if it works or if it doesn't, I will find a way to repurpose it. So for these, when it comes to making my own products to work with the faces, I will likely crumble up the eyeshadow and add it to something. So at the very least, is if it doesn't work on its own, it'll work with it in another way. But for now, goodbye to the I Heart Revolution palette, because it does not want to work with this. So let's go to a tried, tested palette, the So Jaded palette by Kathleen Lights and ColourPop. And if it's not a permanent one, I really hope they make it one, because this is by far the best palette I have used with these heads. They work phenomenally. But anyway, as I was saying, at least initially, when you are working with ritual work or you are starting to get into it, the first thing I recommend is doing your research and learning the basics. And I know that seems like a common sense thing to say, but you would be surprised at how many people just think that they can arbitrarily jump into it. Yeah, you see how that applies compared to that? Beautiful. I'm using the color Jasper in the ColourPop So Jaded palette that they did with Kathleen Lights. I know sometimes with people who are drawn to this path, they might, and I say this because I was kind of guilty of it myself, just look up spells on the internet to start with, which some are decent rituals, others are not. So be aware of that not every ritual you see is going to work. And I know often, because of the level of desperation people frequently are feeling when they get into this, they frequently enter it with the mentality of, well, I'm going to cast a spell and it's going to happen right away. That's not the way it works. I hate to break it to you, but it just isn't. Sometimes you will be fortunate that something that you request or ask for works pretty quickly, but spells are not a quick and easy fix. And right now I'm using the color Pearl And I'm going to, yeah, I think I'll put that on the upper lid area. God, I love how these eyeshadows apply. They really are perfect. Spells are not a quick fix. And when you're first getting into things, don't expect that you're going to do a super complicated ritual and expect it to work. Because sometimes in order for things to work, you have to put in additional work for your request to be answered, and that is something that you only learn with time. And it is something that you only learn with experience. And just like with all things, when you're first starting out, I just want to show you that real quick. So throughout the entire eye, I put jasper, and on this upper lid area, I put pearl. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, you can't expect something you're just starting off with to take off right away. But that pretty much is true with anything that you do. When you're first starting off, you want to start off with rudimentary basics. And I know that's probably frustrating to hear, but that's the reality of it. And I will also very much precaution you. Do not get into this with the goal of manipulating or affecting someone's free will. Right now I'm using the color citrine, and I'm trying to put this right along the edge here. Because that also will not work. I know sometimes some people fall into the, I just want someone to love me. I get it. I think we've all been there, that pining over somebody who doesn't see us or really give us the time of day. But doing work that manipulates someone's free will only causes more pain in the end, either to yourself or to that person. And it's just not worth it. And I know for some watching this, that may be hard to hear, but unfortunately, you just can't force somebody to love you. And at the end of the day, it's not worth trying. It just isn't worth it. And those types of rituals generally backfire. And contrary to what many might believe, there are ethics behind spell work that one should always seek to employ. Now again, I say this with the full knowledge that not everybody is going to agree with me, and I am saying this as somebody who is not a Wiccan. So my ethics are likely going to be different than someone else's ethics. On the eye, I think I will put the color, I'm going to try to do this glitter shade topaz right there. I'm going to apply it with the eye. I noticed in the last video that seemed to work out pretty well, so we shall see. And for lack of a better way to put it, a approach magic kind of like with the mentality of do unto others as you would want done unto you. Because keep in mind that especially when starting out, with mistakes comes things coming back to you, and especially initially, and I know people are going to have different ethical perceptions on this. You don't want to start off with, let me start doing rituals to enact revenge on somebody, because one, you just don't have the experience for it, and two, unless you're able to really control your intention and control your energy with doing that kind of stuff, it can really come right back at you. And so whatever you put out, especially initially when you're learning, if you don't want it coming back at you, don't put it out, is basically what I'm saying. And intention in your ritual work absolutely matters. And because of that, I especially advise, if you're looking to get into spell work and ritual work, the first things you should do, or one of the first things you should do, is work on controlling your own energy. And you can do that by looking up meditation videos and things like that on YouTube that guide you through opening, cleansing, and controlling your chakras. Energy work is not for everybody. When I say energy work, you could also, I don't know, think of it in the sense of Reiki even. Reiki practitioners have to learn how to control their own energy and channel that energy into somebody else for the purposes of healing. It's pretty much the same thing when you're doing spell work. You're learning to harness your own energy and channel it into a ritual in order to try to get your prayers answered in a way. I'm trying to think of, I think for this one I will do rose gold highlighter. I didn't enter into this with any set thought process in mind as to what I was going to do for the look. I kind of go through things a little bit intuitively. So let's try a little rose gold highlighter. You can obviously see all my brush marks from applying the foundation. I did try to pat it in a bit with a sponge after I applied the powder, but we'll just look at it as skin texture, because in reality we all have texture and pores and all of that kind of stuff, so such is, right? We're all human. And no one is perfect anyway. Yeah, not bad. I have to say these are pretty decent highlighters for what I paid for the box. This was a holiday thing that they had at Ulta, and it had different layers and different types of cosmetics. So far I'm getting pretty good use out of it. I wasn't sure I was going to. You never know. Sometimes things turn out more like those old kid makeups that you started off with maybe when you were a kid. I'm going to try a lipstick that I made. I used this with a lipstick base that I bought off Amazon. I put an eyeshadow in it. I'm not going to guarantee that the color is going to come out that well. It's another one of those things that you only learn over time as to how things are going to work, so wish me luck. Well, I know this isn't much of a how-to information in this episode. It's for a very important reason. Like I've been saying, when you're starting out on this path, you will be more likely to make mistakes. We all make them. So, I really do have to ask you, would you prefer to make mistakes with minor things, or would you prefer to make them starting off with more complicated things that are going to be more likely to unintentionally cause yourself or someone else harm? And also likely end up getting you with a severe spanking from the universe for even trying it. Okay, so it looks like this color is not showing up. Yeah, it looks like it's just applying a somewhat waxy sheen to the existing head, or the powder and the foundation underneath it. So let me try something else. Although, yeah, it has a little bit of a tint to it. Not sure you can see that or not. Has a little bit of a peachy, orangey tint to it. But I still want to try another product with a little bit more color payoff. That might be a product I can only use on a lighter shade head for now, until I figure out how to better mix things anyway. So, if you're looking for a starting point, besides looking up meditations and things to help you start to learn how to balance, open, cleanse your chakras and such, I'll give you a minor wish spell that you can start off with. And it's something that I recommend to anyone who's looking to first start off with ritual work. Okay, where'd I put the palette? Yay, there it is. Okay. It's one of those days where I swear if my head wasn't attached, I'd probably lose it. This is a J-Cat lip color palette. This palette has come in a lot of hand in my previous videos. So let's see what we can do. But for a minor wish spell, first obtain a fireproof, heat-proof container. That's always number one with doing anything where you're going to burn something. Personally, I have a cauldron that I purchased. You can use anything pretty much as long as it's heat resistant and you do this responsibly and carefully. We don't want anything melting. We don't want to start any fires. This is not what we're intending to do. And next, I want you to take a bay leaf. the same kind of bay leaf that you add into soups and things like that. Make sure it's dry. So if you grow bay leaves, I would say at least a couple days before you enter in to do the spell, harvest a couple and then let them dry out for a couple days. And what you are going to do is then I want you to write your wish on it. So basically, do you want love? Do you want money? You know, don't be too specific, just write what you're desiring on it. Obviously, it can't be too long-winded because bay leaves aren't that big, but think of it, envision it in your mind, especially as you hold the bay leaf and as you write what you're looking for on it. Hello, computer. Sorry, it went a little spastic on me. And then after you've done that, while keeping that mental image in your mind, I want you to light it. And when you light bay leaves, they don't just burst into flame and start burning. Bay leaves tend to be a very, very slow herb to burn, and sometimes you might even have to light it more than once to get it to burn all the way through. Which is why I'm having you start off with this. And make sure you put it in the heat-resistant container and just let it completely burn away. And with that, you've done your very first simple ritual, your starter beginning point. And with all of that, this is the look for today. I'm just keeping my brushes separate. You can see the JCat color didn't even pick up much. I'm gonna guess the lipstick that I tried to apply first probably altered its ability to adhere to the head, because these generally work pretty well and become pretty vibrant. So, I hope this guidance finds you well and that your wish spells go to your desire. And remember, there's never a guarantee you'll get what you wished for right away. The universe has its plan and it fulfills things in the order it sees fit to do so. Rituals and spells are merely requests that it pays special attention to specific areas of concern for you. And with all of this said, until next time, brightest blessings and blessed be.